Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a great day. Happy New Year's Eve. Today we are having a special guest. His name is Jon Paul. He is going to be a part of the segment Saturday Morning Cartoons. Jon Paul has been in the insurance industry for a little over 4 years. Jon Paul's been in sales. Jon Paul's been in sales and was an executive in the corporate of the world. Corporate world for over 30 years. He built and led sales organizations on a national scale for a couple of multi-billion-dollar corporations. He's from Houston, Texas, and lives outside of Atlanta. He's always been an entrepreneur and owned several businesses outside of his corporate roles. And without any further ado, Mr. Jon Paul.
Good morning. Happy New Year, brother. How's it going, Sawyer?
Good.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here this morning and excited to be on your show.
Yep.
Awesome. What we got going today, buddy?
Today, what are you doing for New Year's today?
Well, we're gonna just hang around here for the most part. It's actually raining here in North Georgia, and so we actually have some family and some friends that are just coming over here for a gathering and get together this evening to ring in the new year. A little low key, just doing something at the house.
Nice. Well, my family, we're gonna go down to my great grandma's, and we are going to do fireworks and open presents for that side of the family and stuff.
Nice. Where are they at?
They're down in Carrollton, Southern Illinois.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Well, make sure that whenever you light the fireworks, you throw them and run. Make sure you throw them away from people.
All right, let's kick off the show.
Sure, let's do it, buddy.
I have a couple questions for you.
Absolutely.
How do you hire people?
Well, in this business, for what we do in the insurance business, we're looking for people that are motivated and not people that we have to motivate. We're looking for people who are entrepreneurial spirited. They're self-driven and they are able to maintain their own schedule, their own discipline and structure without someone having to micromanage that like a boss. Because so when people come here, I'm not their boss. I'm a mentor, and I can show people how to do things, but we can't do it for them. So we're looking for people who have great attitude, work ethic, and drive. Those are common denominators that we look for in all the individuals who are likely to have a high propensity for success here.
Nice. That's awesome. Why do people like working with you?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know that they do. No, I'm joking. No, I like to think that quite frankly, the way I do business is I'm nobody's boss, right? And true leaders don't create followers. True leaders create other leaders. And I've always been very hands-on in everything that I do. and very engaged in leading from the front and being in the trenches, so to speak. So there's an old school saying that we used to use a lot. You might not hear as frequently, but that's called walk the walk and talk the talk. That means you not only know how to do it, you can show other people, but you're willing to jump in and do exactly what you're asking other people to do, and you're experienced and good at it. And so, I'm looking for people that. Sorry, my dog's somebody up the street. Sorry about that.
Live and in person.
I've got 2 Rottweilers and a crazy Chihuahua. That's just the Chihuahua barking. Sorry.
They don't matter.
Go ahead. I can hear you. I may have to let them out. There's somebody at the mailbox up the street, and I'm hoping that they go away before the dog. I'm sorry. I don't usually get any traffic down. I live in the country, so usually not very many people come down. Yeah, I don't think they're leaving.
The cats will be in here soon, so don't worry.
The what?
The cats will be in here soon.
Oh, good. Yeah, the cat.
Okay, go ask him that next question.
Okay.
Yeah, ask him that one.
I have another question for you.
Sure, what you got?
Did your previous job help you with this business?
Oh, absolutely. All of my collective experiences in life have prepared me for this opportunity. I think that does that for everyone. Everything that you do, every challenge you go through, every adversity, every experience is preparing you. It's molding you for your purpose. And so, yeah, I'm firmly believe that there were a lot of things in my past life that I did as far as recruiting and team building and management of a large organization on scale nationally that certainly helped me in my past lives for what I do now. No doubt. 100%.
That's good. I have another question. What is your favorite thing about the insurance business?
Wow, that what one thing that I really that is probably the thing that fuels me the most, and was an extremely welcome, unexpected byproduct, of this business is just the ability to touch lives and make an impact in the lives of others. I think that's the coolest part about this, especially with the culture that we have within Symmetry and my team specifically. It's just cool to be able to be aligned with so many other people building their dreams, and united in that effort. So I think that's probably the thing that I like the most.
I have a couple more questions.
Sure, what you got? Keep them coming, buddy.
John, I got a question for you, buddy. This
Sure.
is Alex Sawyer's dad.
Yeah, buddy.
First off, thanks for being on the show, man. I'll stay off camera because Sawyer looks better than I do. But you mentioned culture within your agency, within the Vetter agency. You've only been in the business for 4 years, just like me. What do you attribute, or kind of tell us about that culture? Because I know that I've personally tried to emulate some of the culture I see that you have in your agency. But tell us about what you think makes your culture in your agency within the business so strong, and why are people attracted to that?
So that's a great question, Alex. I think, quite frankly, when you foster a sense of inclusion, and support and love and vulnerability and all those things, and people feel like they're in a place that's safe for them to spread their wings and be themselves, even if it means to make mistakes and fall. You got everybody else trying to help you up and keep going and supporting you. So by design, my intent was to first of all, Symmetry has such an incredible culture in the first place. So it made easy in that regard for me to be able to try to do the things I wanted to do within my team because of the overarching, culture and infrastructure that is Symmetry, the business model, and just everything about how incredible this opportunity and this company is. But I've always wanted to focus on aligning with like-minded individuals and filtering and finding the right kind of people. I think sometimes in this business, folks will have a tendency to just want to recruit a lot of people for the sake of numbers, and you end up getting a bunch of people in here that, quite frankly, are not good fits, and they're detrimental to the culture, even if it's not even intentional, just because of the way they carry themselves.
Yep.
That's a natural byproduct of that negative energy, can be detracting for sure. So we focus on trying to filter and find the right people, instead of funneling, individuals. And, I like to say, whereas, some companies will hire 100 people because they know 2 or 3 of them are going to make it.
Yeah.
There's just not a bottle of Advil big enough for that. I'm eliminating 90 people in the interview process so I can narrow it down to the 2 or 3 at a time that I can focus on, right? And so that has a lot to do with it, because the culture, can be envisioned, by initially by one person, but it has to be cultivated and continuously envisioned by all active participants, everyone that becomes a part of it. So you're all rowing in the same direction. So that's a huge part of that, and making sure that you're continuing to add people that believe the same, whose goals are the same, whose drive and ambition is the same. And when you continue to have that much positive energy and wavelength, it's awful hard for 1 or 2 people to come in to kind of throw that off, because they typically will get run off because they're not a good fit for the greater positive collective. Does that make sense?
100, man. I love it. It's, and I think sometimes when you have that much, when you have all that positivity and love and gratitude, attitude of gratitude, like we always preach, right? Like that's automatically going to prune out the bad apples without having to, quote, make those decisions.
Sure. They self-eliminate.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. You got another one for Jon Paul, man?
Yeah.
Did you forget it? What are you most
looking forward to in 2023, personally and business-wise?
Great question. I mean, my objective, personally is, I've been telling my wife for the last couple of years to quit her job, fire her boss, and retire. And she does very well where she's at, and she's actually valued there. She's needed. And it's not a toxic environment necessarily in like some people's scenarios, or she'd have been gone. But she enjoys what she does, and nonetheless, I've been adamant in my conversations with her that this is the last year that you're going to work there, so plan accordingly. So personal objective is to get her to retire, for her to retire. And then, professionally is to continue to grow, this team, this family that is, that I'm just so proud to be a part of and be on this journey with. And there's so many people on my team who are going to do such amazing things this year in 23. And I'm just really, really excited to be able to have a front row seat to see that. Because by me helping all of them achieve their dreams and get where they want to go, by default, that helps me get where I want to go. And those are my goals. I've had meetings and one-on-ones with most of those individuals, the others of which will probably happen next week, the meetings, to kind of line out the plans and goals for them individually, what they want to do for 23. And just really excited to see them reaching for the stars and thinking beyond, and pushing themselves out of their comfort zone of what they want to accomplish. Just so proud of that growth and mindset and perspective, in the potential, for all of them. So I'm really excited to see what this year's going to bring for them, quite frankly.
That's really good. Speaking of where you want to go, I heard you like Corvettes. Which one's your most favorite?
Oh, wow. So, all right. Yeah, no doubt. So I'm a car guy in general. I've always have been. But I think my favorite car right now of mine is my C6 ZR1 Corvette, and I'm about to send it off. In fact, it's scheduled to go in next week once we come back from New Year's to get a few performance modifications done to it and up the horsepower a little bit more. It'll probably be around 800 horsepower when I get it back this time. We'll do a few more extreme modifications to it next spring, where it should put 1,000 to the tire. but yeah, but that's like Six Flags every day, right? But I love my truck too. I've got a few BMWs that I love to drive, from a daily perspective. But you gotta have a truck, right? So
go ahead, ask him.
What's that?
Tell me about that small truck.
That slow truck, my TRX. Like your dad must have been whispering to you. If tell him I said if that truck is slow, I got
small. I said small.
Small. Yeah, it's not
It's
small.
slow too, though.
What's that?
It's slow too.
Is it? Oh, I like that. Yep. Well, if you want to race your big wheel against my green machine, bring cash, buddy, because I don't take credit. Yeah. My TRX is pretty sweet. I do like it a lot. And it's neither slow nor small.
No, not at all.
You got to come so we can give you a ride, man. I'll take you for a spin. You come down to Georgia. We'll go out for a spin, go through some mud with the truck, and go to the racetrack. And put the ZR1 around the racetrack. Road Atlanta is only about 25 minutes from me.
Deal.
I love it.
I want to do that.
What?
You want to take your truck out and go money?
Oh no, not against his truck. No.
Oh, just for fun.
No, I'm not. I gotta make smart bets, not dumb bets. No, I know. You had a few questions. I think you want to ask him about your business, didn't you?
Yeah. I was making sure he was done with all his. Is that anything else for me, Sawyer?
Since I'm only 10, what are some business tips that you can provide?
Yeah, that's a great question. And then what I'll do is I'll answer this one, and then next I've got a couple questions for you. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Best advice I would give to you, buddy, is chase your dreams. Don't quit. Never give up. Try new ideas, fail, learn from it, try something else. Keep getting better and better at what you're doing and stronger in your resolve. And no dream is too small. The sky is not the limit, buddy. Your belief system is. So as a young businessman, I would tell you to keep doing what you're doing. I'll tell you a quick story from an entrepreneurial perspective. I've always been entrepreneurial spirited. When I was your age, I had a massive comic book collection that I was buying, selling, trading back in the late 70s going into the 80s. And I'll tell you a true story about that. Because of that hustle, I probably did that for 10 or 12 years from when I was a kid. I started maybe I was 6 or 7 years old. And then so when I went to college, I needed a car, and I sold my comic book collection in 1987 and bought a car because I needed a car for college.
How much did you sell them for?
Oh, not nearly enough. I wish I would have kept them now, of course. I mean, it would, but it was enough for me to be able to get a used car so I could get around. But that's what I needed. It's about sacrifice, and the efforts that I put in over 10 or 12 years allowed me to be in a position where I could have that comic book collection to be able to get the car that I needed when I went to school. And to go back even further than that, when I was a kid, I was literally 5 and 6 years old, and I would go around to all the houses and all the trailers in the trailer park around where we lived, and I would knock on the doors. Now I'm 5 and 6 years old, and I would ask all the people that lived around me if I could pick up the trash in their yard for change, 75 cents, 35 cents, $1, whatever they could give me. And they knew I would come around, and I was the only 5 and 6 year old with $43 in my piggy bank. And I was out hustling every day, knocking on doors, trying to find a way to fuel, because I had two things at that time that were habits of mine that I needed to fuel. Like I had money, I was addicted, candy and comic books. right? And that effort led to me starting the comic book collection that allowed me to then sell that comic book collection when I went to college to get a car.
Mm.
So talk about drive and focus. You're never too young, buddy. I love what you're doing. This is so cool and just proud of you, man. And I'm going to ask you a few questions about that if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So what made you decide that you wanted to do this kind of podcast? What interested you in this type of format in the first place?
Well, Dad really got me interested into it. So he went on a business trip, and then one of the guys that runs the insurance syndicate. Dad was talking to him about getting a podcast, and he was like, "Sure, let's do it."
Perfect. Awesome. I love that. I love it. What grade are you in, Sawyer?
4th grade.
4th grade. Awesome. So what is it that you want to do? What are your goals and dreams?
Well, right now I have a lawn care business that I run and do in the summer.
Nice.
So yeah, I really have my lawn care business, and then goals for down the road are to become an agent in cemetery.
There you go. And how old are you now, man?
10.
10. So you got 8 years. 8 more years.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. Are you going to join your dad's team?
I'll probably run it.
I love that, man. Absolutely. I love that spirit. And that's the way you got to think about it, right? You have the benefit of your dad helping you mold your perspectives and keep your mindset in the right place about what you want to accomplish in life. And if you keep doing what you're doing, now as you get older and you're 18, 25, 30 years old, I mean, you're going to have grown and matured and developed in so many different ways that a lot of your peers just are not going to be at the same pace or at the same place you are. And you have to be comfortable with outgrowing the people that are around you so that you can find the success that you want, because there are going to be a lot of people, especially people closest to you, they're going to probably try to dissuade you, that are going to try to convince you that something's not a good idea or whatever. And some of them don't mean bad necessarily, because they love you, they think they're helping you. But at the same time, you need to be confident in your spirit and your drive and focus on what you're capable of doing, because other people will always tell you something can't be done because they're projecting their own inadequacies and fears on your dreams. And don't let anybody ever do that, buddy. Okay?
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. And be careful of the people that are around you, man. Your friends and people that you interact with, because, first of all, not everybody in your circle is in your corner, Sawyer. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Not everybody in your circle is in your corner. Okay. And you have to be around those people that are going to help you be better. All right. If you stay surrounded by people that are not motivated, they're not driven, they're not ambitious, and you have the biggest dreams of everybody that's around you, you don't have a circle, buddy. You have a cage. And you got to get around the kind of people that are going to help encourage your dreams and support that, and other people that are like-minded, so you guys can pull each other to a higher level. Does that make sense, big guy?
Yeah, so is that like the sum of the 5 people that you hang out with most, Jon Paul?
There you go. Absolutely. You already know, man. Absolutely. And hopefully you hang around with your dad a lot. Here's your first place to start with, to get you the focus and support and the right mindset that you need, buddy.
Yeah.
So let me ask one more question of you, because I know we're I guess at or over time here, I guess. But so from a long-term perspective, where do you see yourself, in say 10 years? It's hard for kids to think, that far out, but 10 years, you'll be 20 years old, right?
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself being when you're 20, buddy?
I feel like I'll probably be in the business, and I may still be running my lawn business.
Okay, or maybe growing it, right?
Yeah.
You hire a couple of managers and a bunch of crews and stuff like that.
One of my dad's friends said he had a friend that he was like 10 years old and he started a business, and now he's like around their age, and he's still running it. Like, that's how he made like a bunch of his money and stuff.
Love it, man. There's so many ways for people to make money. You just got to find your passion. You got to find, what you're good at, and then take a leap of faith, man, and jump. Huh?
I'm good at mowing lawns.
Hey, there are, companies out there that do tens or hundreds of millions of dollars a year in business that are large commercial, landscape companies. They have contracts to do commercial properties and subdivisions and all that. There's a lot of money to be made there.
Yeah.
I love it, man. Awesome. Well, if you come down to North Georgia, man, you can certainly come do mine. But I think it'll be a little bit of a drive for you.
I could come down and mow your lawn.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's a little bit of a drive. Well, Taylor, you come down and mow my lawn, and then we'll take the ZR1 to the track and go race. Okay?
Okay.
I love it. Awesome.
I appreciate all the advice that you gave me, and thanks for being on.
Absolutely. I appreciate the invite, brother. Anytime. Keep focused on your dreams, big guy. Talk to you later, Sawyer.
See ya. Have a happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year.